90% of the time, it's just not necessary. You can just close them on the phone. The numbers make sense. They make sense. The first thing is just realize that, yes, it will be 5% easier in person, right? The main reason that you've been successful to this point is your confidence. So as long as you can bring that along for the virtual sale, I think you're going to do just fine. And I think what really you're good at, the reason that you're making sales, is the conversation that you're having, right? It is the confidence, it's the conversation, it's enough more than them. You've got the information advantage, and people feel like you know what you're talking about. You're a guy who seems to know. And that's like the main thing that you want to bring. Now, when it comes, my advice would be, once you get them on the phone, you're really trying to see how far you can move that deal forward. Even if it's sort of like the first time you're chatting with them and they booked an appointment in the future, your goal should be, how do I, get their usage and bump up that appointment so that it happens today, so that like we can move them right through the process, make it real easy for them. Be very assumptive about them moving forward, because, it's what, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be better off for doing it. So I think the big danger I see guys come through, they're like, I don't know how to do this thing without being with them. I do think it might be 5 or 7% harder, but if you can just show up and be comfortable and be yourself, I think start on the phone, and then, maybe then you're like, hey, I kind of prefer to see a face. Like I'd rather do this in person, but you're 3 hours from me. So would you mind if we just did a little FaceTime? I don't want you to think I'm some, stranger in some terrible place. And I think that's a good way to transition if necessary. But I think 90% of the time, it's just not necessary. You can just close them on the phone. The numbers make sense. They make sense, and you're not going to be able to do some of the things that you do in person to drive extra rapport. But I think what they are and why they work and those types of things. And you'll find little mechanisms to do that over the phone. Even if you're just saying like, yeah, now normally I'd have brought so-and-so thing, so I'm gonna just send it to you, right? Or I'm gonna do it this way. I think people are gonna realize who you are. And that's what's going to allow you to make the sale over the phone, is the same thing like that they're realizing in person.